Welcome back to the channel, everybody. So I'm actually taking the Voge 525X back to the local Voge dealership, which is Motorcycles for All in Malvern. Really good dealership, actually mainly for second-hand bikes, but they do also stock some new motorcycles like Suzuki and Voge. Thanks a lot to MotoGB for lending me the bike. I've actually had a little bit of good weather today. The sun's shining, it's very, very autumnal. I've been out on the A roads and some of these little small lanes, and the bike just handles beautifully. It's a commanding riding position, nice wide bars. It just kind of glides through the bends. It's really, really enjoyable to ride. And yeah, I've had the bike for 2 weeks. So yeah, just a big thank you to MotoGB for just being so gracious about it and lending me this motorcycle for that period of time. I've really got to grips with it. So if anyone's got any questions about this bike in the comments, I feel like I'm in a good place to answer them from a more of a knowledgeable point of view about this bike now. But that isn't the topic of this video. I have had a question in the comments from Mark Fortin, and I just thought it was a really interesting question. Mark said, what bikes are you excited about in the news and at EICMA, the Italian motorcycle show, industry motorcycle show? I'm not actually going to EICMA, but I am going to Motorcycle Live. I'm going in a couple of weeks on the 18th, I think it is. So I thought that'll make a good topic for a video. I'll talk about some of the bikes that I'm actually excited about myself. Okay, so I'll start the list. We have, firstly, Royal Enfield. So I couldn't make a video about bikes I'm excited about without talking about Royal Enfield. Obviously the new Himalayan 452 is hot in the news at the moment. I probably won't be that interested in that bike because of the reasons I outlined in the previous video. I'll go and have a look at it. I'll probably sit on it to see what it's like, but it won't probably feature too much for me. The new Bullet, the 350. Now, I did again say that Royal Enfield are propagating out the J Series engine and they're just consolidating on the gains in the brand that they've already got. And I'll have a look at the 350. I know two-wheeled Willie's quite keen on the Bullet 350, so I'll have a look at that and sit on it and see what it's like. I bet that'll have a lot of attention on the stand. And then of course you got the 650 bikes, which are rumoured. Now we don't know which one of these might be dropped first. It might be dropped at Motorcycle Live, it might not. It's the Scrambler 650, which is kind of like an Interceptor on stilts with knobbly tyres and a high front mudguard. The Shotgun 650, which is kind of like a bobber style motorcycle. And then of course the one that people are excited about on the 650 side is the classic 650 with the really nice headlight nacelle and the long sort of pea shooter style exhausts and the pastel paint scheme and all that. Oh, talking of pastel paint schemes, I hope they bring a Aurora coloured Meteor with the spoke wheels and the chromed J Series engine casings. I'd like to see that. Obviously a previous Meteor owner, I'd like to see what they've done with this new incarnation of the Meteor. Okay, so the second bike I'm going to go and see is the Maving manufacturer. So Maving make lightweight electric motorcycles, but they're staffed by Triumph engineers, so the design of Maving is really, really nice. I would probably get a Maving only for the reason that it is a nice classic looking bike. It's got dual 18-inch wheels, but you can stick it on a motorcycle tow hitch rear carrier. It's almost like a glorified bike rack. You can put this thing onto that and you don't need a trailer to tow a motorcycle. So if Susie and I go away, obviously it gives the option to put that bike on the back of the car effectively, because it only weighs 110 kilos, I think, with a single battery. But you could take the battery out and then you're down to 100 kilos, stick that on the back, batteries in the boot of the car, and it's quite an easy bike to take on and off and to take on a European trip. So I'll have a look at Maving. They actually have a faster version called the RM1S, which goes 65 miles an hour. And all the people who complained about Maving the first time round, oh, it only goes 45 miles an hour and needs to do 60, I'll buy it straight away if it does 60. I wonder if they did actually go out and put down an order for the R1MS, because people did complain a lot about how slow the first Maving was, the R1M. Get that confused. Is that the Yamaha? Yamaha is R1M. Yeah, I have got it wrong. So it's RM1. That's the Maving. So obviously I can't get a Yamaha R1 special edition and a CBT electric bike confused, because they are very, very different. So I'm going to have a look at the Maving stand. Then we've got Suzuki, Kawasaki, Honda. Now they've all actually got new sports bikes. They've got the Suzuki, the 8S, which is basically the GSX S8 or 8S, GSX 8S. I think I get so confused with Suzuki terminology. That has been turned into a sports bike. It's got clip-ons, it's got a fairing, it's got the little bullet or rectangular stacked headlights at the front. I'm going to go and have a look at that. Kawasaki have got the 4R, which is a really nice bike, bringing back the olden days 400cc inline fours. Then Honda, they've got the CBR 600RR, and they've brought back one of the best features of that bike, which is the under-seat exhaust. So I'm not going to buy a sports bike. I don't like the uncomfortableness of sports bikes, but they are exciting machines, and I'm going to go and look at them from all of those three manufacturers. All right, next we've got the three big Chinese manufacturers, the three that I seem to like and get on with. We've got Zontes. I'm going to go and have a look at the Zontes stand, see if they've got some new smaller capacity models, see what's new from Zontes. They're well put together, Zontes bikes. Same with CF. CF Moto have obviously the 800 MT. They've discounted a lot of their pricing very recently, so obviously they're in a group with KTM and CF Moto's products, which are very similar in standard to KTM. Same engines, engine management, probably not the suspension, but the control interface, the TFTs. CF Moto have dropped their pricing recently, so they've become a little bit more interesting if you do want something that's really good value. So you've got the Touring, the 800 MT, but you've also got this 800 NK, which is a lightweight naked. I'm going to go and have a look at that. That's probably the sort of top tier of CF. And of course, we've got Voge behind me. I want to go and have a look at the Voge stand, see what new bikes they've got. If they've got something interesting, smaller capacity like 125 Scrambler or 350 twin Scrambler, something interesting like that, I'm going to have a look at for Voge. Next, of course, we've got BSA, and BSA won't be at EICMA because they only sell bikes into the UK market at this time. So BSA is going to be really interesting. I think they're either going to have a Scrambler prototype now developed into a more of a production motorcycle. Obviously Scramblers, we can see behind me, got the Voge Scrambler, but Scramblers are quite hot at the moment. I think that it's more likely they'll have a revision of the Gold Star, so they'll have a different colour scheme or different model of the Goldie. Because if you think at 2021 they had just Gold Stars, 2022 they showed the Scrambler prototype. They're going to show something new at this Motorcycle Live. I'll be interested. Obviously I'm a BSA owner, so let's see what they have to show. The other thing I'm hoping to see from BSA is a full range of accessories for the bikes. That's been a little bit slow to come into market, so we want to see engine bars, rear racks, we want the luggage and some clothing and bits and bobs. We just want everything from BSA, so BSA, hopefully you're working away in the last 2 weeks to get everything exciting done and dusted for Motorcycle Live. Okay, so finally, the other bit which I need to talk about is of course Triumph. I'm going to go and sit on the Scrambler 400X. I think that's probably the most exciting bike from Triumph. I'm not interested in any of the big, tall, high capacity bikes. Maybe a look at the Bonneville, but it's going to be the T120, but it'll be the Scrambler for me. Now, this is particularly interesting because, I keep looking behind me, the BSA isn't there. If you remember when I debuted the BSA on the channel, I mentioned that I bought it with a 0% depreciation offer. So let me know what you think about this. I bought the BSA for 5,500 used. And the deal is, if you wish to trade that bike in against a new motorcycle from the Completely Motoring group, you're able to do so at 0% depreciation. So whatever I paid for the BSA, I get back against a new vehicle. Of course, I would lose perhaps £500 in depreciation if I sold the BSA because it's second hand. So maybe I would sell it for at this time of year for $4,999 to a dealer. That way I've lost £500. However, with the purchase of a new bike, I'm going to lose a bigger chunk, aren't I, as soon as I take it off the showroom floor. The thing is, I'm interested in perhaps a deal on the Triumph 400X. That bike is £5,599. So if I trade the BSA's value in against it, which is £5,500, I'm only paying £99 for a new bike. Now, of course, I'm then open to depreciation on the Triumph, and I don't get to, what do you call it when your options come in? I don't get to complete the deal anyway until April, when that's when you get it. So I'd have the BSA for 6 months, and then I basically do this deal, and then I get the Triumph as a new motorcycle. So yeah, let me know what you think about that. There's nothing else really which would make me get rid of the BSA, except perhaps if this Triumph 400 is really, really good in the flesh. So I'll have a look at it at Motorcycle Live, and if it is super special, then we have a potential to do this deal. Now, the deal has to be done by the 27th of November. So it's a little bit, the devil's in the details, like all these things. I've got to decide whether I want to part X back in the BSA by the 27th of November, the end of the show, and then I've got to collect the motorcycle in April, so I'll have the BSA for another 6 months to ride it and enjoy it. So that's an interesting little one. So let me know in the comments what you think about that. But that's it, guys. So I just wanted to let you know those are my bikes. Thank you, Mark, for the question. And I'm now going to take the Voge back to the dealer. Just drop this camera down so we can see her. Oh, there we go. So she's going back, and yeah, I've given her a bit of a clean, but it's muddy, so she's got dirty again. But yeah, you won't see the Voge again on the channel, so everybody say goodbye. I've enjoyed riding her, and yeah, I'll catch you in the next video.